Welcome back, artists and designers. We're moving into our last couple steps here of our text effects practice. So we're on page 5, and this one is pretty easy to understand what's happening. We are going to take some editable text where we could change the font and convert it into shapes and treat it just like it was anything else that we drew with the pen tool or the shape tool or anything else like that. So let's go ahead and zoom in here, and I'm going to look at 2 examples. So this is going to be an easier process with a nice sans serif font, something that has clean, straight edges and lines to it. It's going to give us fewer anchor points. Something like this, a script font, you're going to see is going to be really challenging to work with because there are a lot of anchor points. So here's basically how it works. I'm going to select this text, and then all I have to do is go over here and create outlines. And I'm going to hit create outlines. And now it doesn't look like much changed, but this is now text that is editable. It's grouped by default. So with the direct selection tool, the selection tool, I'm going to move the entire group. But if I click the direct selection tool, I can now click on individual letters. I could move these letters independently away from the other ones. I could click on that and do whatever I want there. Okay, or you'll notice that you have all of these anchor points. So if I zoom in on this, now when I click on this W, I can see all the anchor points that make up this W. Or if I click on the O, I can see all the anchor points that make up the O, the C. So these are all the actual anchor points that make up the shapes, and you can actually grab any one of these anchor points and start pulling them and kind of doing whatever you want with this shape. So you can grab individual anchor points, move them around. Or let's say you wanted to extend this W all the way up, or maybe better yet, what about this Y? If I wanted to grab both of these anchor points down here, I know there's 2 down here, I could either hold down Shift, select both, and now I should be able to grab that path in between and just drag that down, and I can bring that down. I could do the same thing up above. I know I have 2 anchor points up here. I could also try to drag my cursor and select both of those and then drag that path all the way up here and start to, kind of stretch that letter out. So you get these anchor points that you can start to mess around with. Not only can you push and pull anchor points, but you might also remember that when you click on things with the direct selection tool, you see these circles in the corner, and those circles allow you to change the corner into a curve. So if I click on those circles, if I click on this and I start to drag, you'll notice that anywhere that I have a corner on this W is going to round out and do some funky things with it. So by default, when you click one and drag it, it's going to do all of them. If you just want to do one, let's say I just want to round out this corner, I'm going to click, you see it highlights, and then I drag, and I can just do that corner. And then let's say I want to do this corner. Click on that one, drag it up, and you can have some fun doing some different things that way. So that's basically it. I'm going to repeat that step over here so that you can see the complexity difference. So I had a really simple font with straight lines. If I go over here and I try to do it, so I'm going to select my text. I'm going to go over and hit create outlines right here. It's going to do the same thing, convert to outlines. If I click my white arrow, you go, whoa, there's a lot of anchor points on this one. So again, I can still grab entire letters, move them around, manipulate them if I want to. But if I want to start stretching and pulling letters or doing something like that, it becomes a little bit more complicated because there are a lot of anchor points to deal with. So you can try the same thing. I could try to drag my white arrow over, grab as many as I can to move, and then grab that path and drag it and manipulate it up, but it is a lot harder to do some of those manipulations when you have a zillion anchor points to deal with. So that's the basic process. You can kind of have some fun stretching those things out, grabbing different parts, trying different things with your letters and seeing what you can do. All of these anchor points are editable and manipulative on here so that you can play around and see what else you can do with the letters once you change them from editable text into something that allows you to actually treat it as if it were a shape in Illustrator. So have some fun with that. It's as simple as typing your word, selecting your word, and then going down and hitting that create outlines button over here on the properties panel and going in with your direct selection tool and starting to have some fun messing around, pulling and pushing and distorting those letters however you like. So go ahead in there, give that a whirl, and see what you guys come up with on this one. I'll see you in the next video.